Boats, and more boats. There's a million different boats under the sun, and everybody kind of picks a boat that fits their style or their price range. Today we're gonna be walking through my boat at Intune Marine, the AVX1980. So yeah, let's do a quick walk around the front and let's jump in the boat. Come along. In the back of the boat, the caboose. This year I went with the Mercury Pro XS 150. That's what this boat's rated for. Gets me out of the hole quick. Really awesome motor. Besides that, shallow water anchors. I've been loving the Raptors. If you fish a lot of shallow, or even if you don't fish shallow, if you can afford shallow water anchors, I would do it. So right at the front of the motor, there's two features that I love about this boat, and they're genius, right? Like, I feel like in the past, people always had their gas tanks either on the side, or you had to open this thing up and fill your tank actually, or that's where you filled it up. The gas tank's very easy access. It's right here. I pull up to the back anti-pump, put in some 87, good to go. But this is probably the most ingenious invention. I don't know when they started putting them on boats, but I feel like if I would have invented this, I don't know, I'd be a millionaire maybe. But this is really sweet. If you can kind of see right in here, this is where you put the plug in and out. The plug is out right now. No, the plug is in. It's incredible. There's no electronics, it's just a lever. There's no more crawling underneath your boat to put your plug in. There's no more, oh shoot, I forgot the plug. I don't know how many times I've launched the boat and I've been like, oh, I don't even have the plug in. No big deal. Now it's in. Incredible. All right, let's head to the front. In years past, I had always gotten a dual axle trailer, and dual axle, I love it. It's very reliable if you're taking long trips, but with gas prices and everything, I decided I wanted to stick more on the Midwest this year. So I went with a single axle trailer. My garage isn't quite long enough for my boat, so it really helps me when I kind of maneuver it and park it in my garage. Yeah, so depending on what you're doing, if you're going on long trips or if you're going on short trips, that could be the decision between a dual or a single axle. Come along, let's hop inside. As you enter the boat, this is a really cool invention. I don't know how long they've been out, but a lot of boats nowadays have step ladders to them, and whether you're putting the boat in or taking it off, it's just extremely convenient. I run it right on the front, power load it, jump right off, walk down, do a couple cranks, and I'm out. So yeah, that's the back of the boat, that's the front of the boat. Let's talk about the inside now. So obviously this boat is extremely tricked out, very competitive. Two 10-inch helixes here, two 12-inch helixes here, Ultrex 360, very competitive boat. But I wanna go more into detail about how I lay out the inside of my boat. So besides just kind of all the toys and electronics on the outside, I wanna talk about kind of how I lay out my boat, my tackle, my rods, for time management on the water, and just kind of how I like to lay it out. There's no right or wrong way to do it. This is just what works for me. So let's open the containers. One thing I love probably the most about the AVX is all the space. It has a really big front deck. This is a 19.5 foot boat, but the front deck, in my opinion, I don't know, it fishes more like a 20+ foot boat. So right away, we've got 4 containers up here. We'll start to the right. In this one, I like to keep all my plastics. I keep all my plastic soft baits in here. I've got random bags for this, robo worms, trick worms, beavers, flipping. I got it all segmented out, so that way if I want to grab something really quick, boom, it's all organized, it's there, it's good to go. And the reason I don't like to mix these my hard baits, because it's like, this is what I'm kind of flipping through the most, you know what I mean? Like a soft bait will get ripped out by a bass, or I'll get it hung up on a tree. So this is where it's like I'm digging in and out of most, and I like it to be up front here. Quick, easy access. I'm back out casting again. Behind that, probably the second most important place in the boat is the cooler. It's good to have a good quality cooler in the boat. If you spend a lot of time in the water, it gets hot. This is really handy to have. Fill it full of ice, fill it full of waters, pops, or whatever anybody else is drinking. And yeah, it's really convenient to have a cooler in the boat. All right, let's open up the big coffin. So now, this is where you can kind of tailor your boat organization to how you want to fish, because there's a rod locker in here and there's a rod locker in here. But I use the center container mainly as hard bait storage or terminal storage. So we open up here, it's giant. I got a bunch of rods, and if I know what I'm gonna kind of be fishing that day, sometimes I'll put my quick easy access rods right here. Like if I'm going to a certain lake, I know I'm gonna be throwing a drop shot or a jig worm, maybe a little hair jig. Boom, 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 I grab those 4 rods here, that's what I'm starting with. But besides that, I got all the hard baits laid out here. Everything from hooks, jigs, crankbaits, DTs, swim baits, just a variety of stuff. And then up toward the front, I keep a bunch of line. So I buy line in bulk. I'm always changing line, changing things out depending upon the situation. So it's nice to have kind of my full tackle here, the line here, and then just a bunch of different tools in the back here, like leader lines, stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically the magic box there. That's where everything goes besides the soft bits. So let's hop on over to the rod locker. So whether I'm rigging or I'm on the water, it doesn't really matter. The cool thing about the 1980 is the way they have the front deck laid out, there's like a section here that isn't a part of the boxes. And I love that section here, whether I can sit right there, posted up, rigging something here, or if I'm pulling out different rods. I pop this out here, I can sit right here, boom. I grab rod, it slides out. Awesome rod locker. It's tubed, I can fit a ton of rods in here. Especially if you have rod socks, you can double, triple up in the slots. This is really handy to have. Growing up, I had a lot shorter boats. I had old Trackers, old Rangers that didn't have rod lockers at all, or they had 7-foot rod lockers. So to be able to have a boat that has an 8-foot rod locker and I can just shove everything in there, they're safe, they're put away, it's freaking money. Bingo? Bingo. All right, so the front deck is fine and dandy, but let's get to the cockpit area down here. Boom. This is where we're driving the boat. This is where we spend our screen time finding the areas that we want to fish. And Vexus has done a lot to kind of change this cockpit area and change kind of this console here. It looks very sleek. It's a little bit smaller so you don't hit your knees. It's pushed back. It's very comfortable, very sweet looking console. So yeah, I have all my dials over here, from the horn, the bilge, internal lights. I run my my aerators over here. This is the ignition, got all my switches, got all my gauges. Over here, this is kind of, they make these boats 2 different ways. I think you can get a center seat here, or you can have a compartment. I enjoy the compartment. I fish a lot alone or just with one other person, so this just kind of suits me best. I like to put my phone, my wallet, my scale, sunglasses, my keys, extra Lake Master cards, some buffs, and check this out. The going gets really tough and you're out in the middle of nowhere. You gotta have TP packed. It's a pro tip. But yeah, we've got cup holders. This seat's adjustable here, which is sweet. My girlfriend will ride and pick me up a lot, or she drives a lot too, and she's really short, so she can kind of adjust it. I got a little longer legs, so I like it all the way back, but she adjusts it way up front, and then when I hop in, I'm like, what are you doing? Just one quick flick of the lever, and we're back. But yeah, over here in the cockpit, here's your step. They've really modified this step and made it much more sturdy over the past couple models. It's basically reinforced all the way around with aluminum. Your step right here, this is now a watertight bag. Inside here, I'll keep little things like a buoy. I'll keep a bump board if I'm in a tournament and I need to measure it out, or if I catch a big fish. And then I keep a day bag in here. A lot of times I'll pick and choose different plastics that I think I'm gonna be using on that body of water, put it in the day bag. That way I'm not even really reaching in there. If I feel like, boom, I need a new trick worm or I need a beaver, I just kind of create a bag for the day. Besides that, it's super handy to have your tools right here, because when you do sit on this platform, you're rigging stuff, you're cutting stuff. I've got hook cutters, I've got normal pliers, another set of pliers. I've got a hook file, a couple different scissors, chartreuse garlic marker. So yeah, it's really a dialed cockpit. It's everything you need, and it doesn't have anything more that you don't need, if that makes any sense. It's like a lot of different boats will have different compartments or little levers here and whatever. It's like, I just want it exactly what it needs to be. There doesn't need to be any more, and then there's room to move, and you don't break anything either, because people are walking here, people are sitting here. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the center. Besides that, to the left, this is your co-angler spot, or if you just want to store some rods back here. Nice boat buckle there, easy on and off, and yeah, Let's transition to the back of the boat now. One thing I'm a little jealous about is I am up front a lot, so my girlfriend or buddies will be back here, but the back deck is ginormous. If you can see this, you could fish two plus people out here really easily. It's like you can have one person fishing here, and you can have one person fishing here. It's absolutely huge, and that's what I like about these AVXs. It's like they have a lot of storage, but they really optimize the deck space, not only in the front, but the back. So really quick, I think there's 5 containers. We'll talk about them. Right here, I just kind of have some tools and essentials. I keep some rain gear in this back deck. I keep a variety of different tools here. Fuses, switches, anything I need. Some last minute snacks, some nacho cheese Doritos, a first aid kit, some G-juice, some vinegar and water spray to spray down the water spots, fire extinguisher, bug spray, suntan lotion, just kind of the whole works. A few different screwdrivers and stuff like that. Allen wrenches. That's basically my tool container, and that's where I just kind of keep everything that I need if anything loosens up or I need to grab it really quick out of the back. Besides that, this is the batteries. I'm running 4 batteries in the back here. Minn Kota precision charger. Yeah, I have a 36 volt trolling motor. I'm running a lot of graphs. This boat is extremely tricked out and rigged out well. I did not do this. The team at Intune rigged this whole boat. There's Raptor pumps back here. There's wires running up and down and left and right. The pros rigged this boat, and for good reason, because there's a lot going on back here. But yeah, I kind of like how this container flips up this way, opposed to other boats used to flip up like this. So say I'm on the water and it's waving, I'm bouncing around. In the past, I always opened them up like this. And if you're digging with something, you kind of got to go back here like this. With it opening up this way, I can sit right here. I'm not going to fly out of the boat. I can grab in and out, do whatever. If there's any problems or I need to flip any fuses. Coming over here, this is where I kind of keep just some odds and ends, but mainly life jackets. I got friends, bass bums, family that jump in the boat all the time. I keep a whole bunch of life jackets, throwables, some random tubes, just some random boxes of different baits that I don't really think I'm gonna be using or throwing, but I just like to keep in the boat. But yeah, this is mainly for life jackets, towels, and other boat essentials. One thing I like about all these containers is they're water locked, and I can lock them as well. So if I'm traveling, staying in a hotel, I can lock every single container, and they're also waterproof. So a lot of times I don't cover the boat, it can get rained on, nothing gets wet, I'm good to go. Here are my Livewells, awesome tournament grade Livewells. And if you're not a tournament angler, if you're just a multi-species angler, whether that be walleye or pike or whatever, it's cool. This Livewell actually has little slots, so you can make it just one giant Livewell opposed to having them separated. But yeah, these Livewells have been incredible. I don't kill any fish between the awesome pumps and the G-juice. I put a lot of fish in here, and I haven't killed one fish this year. So unless intentional, unless it was walleyes, I've killed a lot of them. But yeah. Outside dialed, inside dialed, organization. This is kind of how I lay my boat out. There's no right or wrong way, but this is my way. So Sam Sobiek at Intune Marine. If you guys are interested in the AVX1980, give them a call or check it out online at www.intunemarine.com. See ya.